Chandra Nalar. We know a lot about her, but we've never actually learned where she's from. You know, what kind of world was Chandra raised in? And where do the goggles come from?
So Chandra is the youngest of the Origins 5 Planeswalkers, and she is only 11 when her story takes place. And Chandra is a rebel. She's been working with her parents. Her parents are also, they're vehicles for grassroots change on Kaladesh.
So there are aspects of red that we don't get to show on cards very often. Mark Rosewater is fond of saying that, red is the color of passion and love and artistry. And those are things that generally don't, exile permanence or do 3 damage to a creature or, or swing in for 2. It's hard to swing in for 2 with love. I've tried. The opportunity for us to put Chandra's parents on a card, and they are primarily red because of their passionate invention and also their love of family and daughter. That was just a really cool opportunity for us.
The whole Thopter mechanic came out of, what could Kaladesh do that brings artifacts in the mix without, making the whole set have to be artifacts. And we came with this really awesome Thopter mechanic in design. And so the PN Kieran came out as, okay, well, what if we just kind of figured out what it took to get some card that made Thopters to being a really cool build-around card for both limited and constructed. You play PN Kieran, and by themselves they give you pretty good value. It's a 2/2 that comes with 2 1/1 flyers. But if you want to build a deck around artifacts, say with many of the M15 artifacts such as Darksteel Citadel, you can get extra value by using their activated ability to fling it at your opponent.
Each of the Origins Planeswalkers is a quest. It's an in-game quest that if you can complete it, you get a prize. You get an incredibly powerful Planeswalker. And that's obviously what you're trying to do. That's what you want. But maybe you can't get there right away. The front side, the creature part still has to be functional, still has to be useful, still has to be powerful. It is a legend. It is a legendary version of a famous, powerful character.
Chandra's identity is just burn everything, do damage to everything, fire magic. And so she has a pretty narrow slice of the color pie that she has access to, although that's something that we've been sort of trying to explore over time, broaden Red's color pie and specifically what Chandra can do as a character. But with so many moving parts to this card, she needs the front creature side, a method of transforming her, 3 abilities on the back. We kind of kept coming back to deal damage, deal damage, deal damage as the through line for Chandra, and eventually just kind of embraced that.
She is a complex character, but she likes fire and she likes damage, and when making her design, we really liked this idea of, okay, she does damage, and we just kept adding damage. So all of a sudden it was like, how many times does this card say damage? Well, it says damage a lot. I think it's 7 times in the card. So I'm pretty sure for any kind of near future, she's gonna have the record for the most times the word damage actually appears on any given card.
So we also had the opportunity with cards like Chandra's Ignition and Pia and Kieran Nalar to tell the rest of the story. So it's not just one card that's kind of bearing all that narrative weight, but this trio of cards and a lot of the flavor text that you see scattered around that tells the complete narrative around that defining moment for Chandra.
In the card Chandra's Ignition, we're seeing the Executioner's Arena, and it is the moment where Captain Baral, who has a grudge against Chandra for being a pyromancer, is about to swing the Executioner's blade, and in that moment is when Chandra's spark ignites, flings her off the plane, and she's gone to Regatha.
Normally, when we do a block, we will build a single world instead of lots of time and energy, showing off that one world. So here we had a single set with 10 different worlds. I mean, that was a huge challenge. And some of the worlds we'd never seen before, or we'd seen on one card. And so one of the big challenges was figuring out, let's take Chandra's example. Okay, she's from Kaladesh. We'd never been to Kaladesh. What does Kaladesh look like? I mean, we knew it had a little bit of a steampunk vibe because of how Chandra looked, but okay, we have to figure out that world. And then she goes to Regatha. Do you know how many times we've seen Regatha? On a Fire Beast? I mean, 1 or 2 cards. Chandra started from a place we'd never seen and went to a place that we've just seen a glimpse of.
The card Exquisite Firecraft is showing Chandra after her first planeswalk. She landed on Regatha, which is home to fire monks, and for the first time she fit in, her gift of pyromancy was accepted, and they trained her, and exquisite firecraft is showing her kind of shooting small aimed flames rather than a huge conflagration, which she's learning to both control her temper a little bit and control her mastery of the craft.
Pyromancer's Goggles is a callback to a very old character from Magic lore, Jaya Ballard, who appeared in many amusing flavor texts. And this is a card that helps you ramp in red, which is a little bit difficult in red usually, and also doubles your spells. So as it makes your burn spells both bigger and doubles them. So you can deal a lot of damage that way.
So Chandra is a rebel pyromancer. She does things big, and when you've got her on your side, you're gonna do big things too.